Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines, and most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. What do I mean by that? I mean, anybody who comes on this show with me or my twice a week long form podcast is a transportation professional. I don't do theory, right? Like I don't talk to people who would like maybe do something if they were ever in that situation based on something they read. I only speak with people who have done what you're trying to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so we can put the right information out there that you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. Obviously, I'm back in studio now. The Freight Coach Roadshow got wrapped up. So you can see I proudly fly this American flag behind me every single day. A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. Yes, we are back in studio, finally. Was out on the road for like fucking 6 days last week, and man, it's a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot to bring the whole setup as much as I can out on the road. You know, the setup, the teardown, it's fantastic getting out and meeting people. But yeah, you know, I'm such a fucking creature of habit that getting away and getting out on the road, it just always feels so good to come back home and get back in my routine and everything. Because I am very ABC 1, 2, 3 in a lot of things that I do, and when I break my routine, it just sends me into a fucking tailspin sometimes. But anyways, before we get any further, as always, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers. And the best part about with what they have, you guys, is you get paid to move these. So if you're a small fleet or an owner or operator, you can jump on there, get paid to move a trailer. If your trailer's in the shop, you should never have to shut your operation down no matter what. So with what they're working on right now, you guys, is they got West Valley City, Utah, going up to Calgary, Alberta, and you get $1,550 to move this trailer. And then that's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading this trailer out. And then this one, this is what I love the most. I got 150 drive-ins down in Paragould, Arkansas, needing to get up to Mississauga, Ontario. And with that, you get 1,000 Canadian per trailer. But here's the thing, you can create a drop trailer capacity with this, because they don't all have to just pick up in Paragould. You can move them over to Nashville, create a drop trailer pool at a shipper of yours. They just got to end up in Mississauga, you guys. So look, and then also they have Dallas, Texas to Long Sault, Ontario for $750 US. And then they also have, San Diego, California, going out to Laredo, Texas, Houston, Texas, San Diego to Houston for $800 US. So hit them up, you guys, vhubapp.com. My friends Xavier Campos and Stacy Steen, they'll be in the audience, and just do me a favor, let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Michael Mojado, let's go. He says he's watching over on LinkedIn. Tracy St. Clair, good morning. Happy Monday. She's watching over on YouTube. Cody Miller says, good fucking morning, freight enthusiast. Sonny Sharma, he is. Sonny, are you technically an island boy right now, just trying to make it? Sonny's out in Jamaica. He says, good fucking morning from Jamaica. Let's fucking go. Yeason Martinez, morning. Thanks for tuning in. Cody says, enjoy the island vibes. Sonny says it's insane that the setup you bring when you travel. I got to, yeah. Sonny and I got to hang out a little bit out there at the TIA conference, man. It's always good seeing Sonny. He's good shit. I really enjoy hanging out with him. But yeah, man, it's dude, you got to do what you got to do, man. A lot of people sit here and talk about that they're willing to do these things. But that's what it takes, man. You got to get out there and do it. And, you know, it's only going to get more complex the bigger all of this stuff goes. I think next year I'm going to have a crew come in and set up. I already told the TIA, I want a stage. I want fucking pyrotechnics. I want flamethrowers, smoke show, all that shit. We might go like real crazy and just go fucking live for 48 straight hours and see if we can do that. Why not, right? Fuck it. Sean Colville, what is up? He says, good fucking morning. You made it home unscathed. Unscathed is correct. I made it home. It was, yeah, dude, going up there, Man, it was a good time. Scott Watanabe, the Freight Sensei, says, "Good morning, Freight fam. You technically are, Sonny. You can't spin it any other way." Oh man, yeah. So after I left, I left TIA Friday morning, and I went up to St. Louis. I'm involved in an entrepreneur organization called the RTA Syndicate. Andy Frisella, Ed Milet are the co-founders of it, and they had their an annual summit in St. Louis. So I flew up to St. Louis and spent all day Saturday there. And, I had the pleasure of hearing David Goggins speak firsthand live there. I've read both of his books. Very avid follower of David Goggins. And, it was very tactical at this event about, kind of what we're going through. And it's a perfect kind of lead in to the articles that I'm going to break down today. But again, it was very tactical on how you operate with a lot of the uncertainty and with a lot of the shit that goes on out there. And it was probably the best event I've ever been to in my entire life. There's no other way to put it. It was absolutely fantastic. I got more out of those 7 hours on Saturday than I have in all the podcasts I've listened to, all the books that I've read, everything. It was a perfect setup. And, and the deeper and deeper you get into a lot of things, you start to perceive information differently. That's why I read some of the same books every single year, because as I grow personally and professionally, I retain the information differently. But yeah, that event was fucking oh man, it was fantastic. I'm so ready to just like work, just based off of that. And when you're in that room, like listening to I'm a massive follower of Andy Frisella and Ed Milet and David Goggins, like I had said. But when you're in the room listening to him speak, it's different. It is such a different environment that's out there. And, these events, you guys, invest in yourself, and I put a post out there yesterday talking about this is, yeah, you don't nobody works 24/7, 365, 7 days a week. That's all bullshit. Right. But you're going to have to invest time. You're going to have to invest time in yourself. Outside of normal hours, outside of those things, you're going to have to take that time away. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot, but it's an investment. The information that I gained from that event alone is going to pay off 100x over these next couple of years through all the uncertainty that we're going through right now. Because my personal feeling is it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And you're really going to have to silence a lot of the outside noise. And again, that's just going to be the lead up into the articles that I'm going to be breaking down today, because you guys, there's a lot of noise out there right now with a lot of shit. And I'm not calling bullshit on anybody and saying that there isn't some validity to this stuff, but there is validity. The fact that things change, that markets swing, but what are you going to do? Right? Like, are you just going to throw your hands up and quit? Or are you going to fucking put your feet down and fight for your fucking business? That's what I'm going to do. Like, I didn't start this just to come this far. And I'm going all fucking, like, I've been all in, right? Like, I've only known the uncertainty of everything here over these last couple of years. And I'm fully fucking prepared to do this, because of the people that I surround myself with, the information that I retain. I can't stand pessimism. I can't stand pessimism at all. I need to find a solution, right? Because like, this isn't a hobby to me. This is how I support my family. And I will fucking do whatever it takes to make sure that my family never struggles ever, So it's like, as we see headlines out there about freight recessions or recessions and uncertainty in the market, albeit there is some, like, you could spin it in any way, but what the fuck are you going to do about it? Right? What the fuck are you going to do about it? Are you going to see an article or the CEO of a large or a leadership at a large company say this stuff and you're going to be like, well, if they're saying it, I should quit? Fuck no. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to break this stuff down here in these articles, you guys. That was kind of my little rant to kind of start the show. And Friday, so save all your questions for Friday because Fridays are all Q&A. Sales and operations questions for the transportation industry. Fridays are all Q&A. DM them over to me, and I will answer them live on the show. Lance, what's up, my man? Lance Bouchard is in the house. Cam, my dog, what is up? He said, surrounded by greatness. I love it. Marlo Hutchinson says, absolute must get in the room when possible. Be intentional in the investment. And Freight Sensei says 100% iron sharpens iron. Surround yourself with the ones that will help build you up. And Tim Bannon says fight 100. All right. First article we are going to break down is going to be from ttnews.com. And it is court rules insurer can't sue broker in fraudulent carrier case. And then the decision was hailed as a victory for transportation brokers. As always, you guys, the articles that I break down are uploaded onto my YouTube channel, The Freight Coach, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only replay of this, which will be available on iTunes and Spotify almost immediately after the show. And a victory for freight brokers, a federal appeals court has ruled that an insurance company may not pursue a claim against a transportation broker after that broker unknowingly hired a fraudulent motor carrier who vanished with the shipper's load. The decision this month by Miami-based U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit rejected an argument by an insurance company that a federal exemption provision under the FAA, there's three A's, the Federal Aviation Administration Authorization Act, allows Florida negligence claims against a transportation broker based on the broker's selection of a motor carrier. The decision was really good news for the brokerage industry for sure. And that my man, Chris Burrows, he's been on the show. He's the VP of Government Affairs for the TIA. The court found that Landstar was not negligent in their selection based on this. Burrows noted, however, that the 11th Circuit's ruling creates a split after the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 9th Circuit ruled that freight broker C.H. Robinson could be sued in a similar case involving an accident. Last year, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to review a personal injury suit against alleging that Robinson was negligent in connection with a serious injury from an accident in 2016. With this court decision, whoever the party is, that a claim against a broker for negligent selection of a motor carrier is preempted by the FAAA, said Prasad Sharma, a partner with transportation law firm Scopelitis, Garvin, Light, Hansen, and Fury. And then clarity for both cases could come from the Supreme Court if either party seek an appeal, Sharma said. And it's definitely been a great win for the transportation industry. The 11th Circuit decision reviewed, the 11th Circuit division revolved around the case in which Tesco Technologies hired Landstar Ranger as a transportation broker to secure a carrier for a delivery for a load that Tesco across state lines. Landstar mistakenly turned the shipment over to a thief, posing it as a legitimate Landstar registered carrier. The fraudulent operator ran off with the shipment. Their insurer, Tesco's insurers, Aspen American Insurance, sued Landstar, claiming Landstar was negligent under Florida law in the selection of the carrier. In this appeal, from the lower federal court, dismissal for a failure to state a claim, we accept these factual allegations as true and construe them in the light most favorable to Aspen, the appeals court wrote. Landstar selected L&P Transportation LLC to transport that shipment. L&P was a Landstar registered carrier, and its online profile included detailed company information. But Landstar did not follow its usual carrier verification protocols when it came to dispatching this shipment, according to the appeals court. When it came time for Landstar to turn the shipment over to L&P for transport, Landstar received a call from someone named James claiming to represent L&P, attempting to collect scheduled shipment. Despite noticing discrepancies between the company's information provided by James, air quotes, that listed L&P in Landstar system, Landstar dispatched that shipment to James. Unsurprisingly, James was a fraud, and he stole Tesco's cargo. Now, think about this, you guys. How many similar times has that happened to you, right? And now we can't look at this one ruling as an opportunity to fuck off and not do our due diligence in this situation. And I'm not blaming Landstar. I'm not all I'm saying is look at this situation right here. How familiar does this sound to the freight that you're booking? And that's what I want you to be aware of in this stuff, because this could happen to literally anyone. Anyone this could happen to. And then in its district court for litigation, Aspen alleged that Landstar breached its duty by ignoring its own protocols and was grossly negligent or negligent in its selection. Then it goes on to further say what the court is saying is that you can't go after the broker for this because this type of claim is preempted. A trucking attorney, Rob Mosley, who's a trucking attorney out there at Greenville, South Carolina, if the federal government wants to weigh in on it, so be it. But states can't regulate interstate commerce. There's a remedy. It's just that it's hard to find the crook. The whole thing comes down to 8th grade civics in terms of what states can and can't do. Mosley added that there's definitely been a great win for the trucking transportation. Most of the loads are brokered to small carriers and any carrier that takes brokered loads. The brokers have been getting sued for negligently hiring carriers, and the risk management for brokers is reeling over how to deal with these cases. Basically, the case says that the broker has to do with the FMCSA's job for them, that we have to figure out who should be on the road and who shouldn't. I wholeheartedly agree with that last statement. I think the FMCSA has completely absolved themselves from any fucking responsibility in anything regarding carrier selection at this point. When they said essentially they say it's not our job. I won't get into my personal opinion in the FMCSA today because I don't have enough fucking time left in the show. But how does this affect your operation is what I want to know. And furthermore, because again, I look at both sides, not only the brokers, but also the carrier, right? The carrier that in some of these instances with double brokering, who really gets the short end of the stick here. We have to be aware of this. You have to select who we're working with properly. You have to vet them because the red flags are there, you guys. Like, trust your gut. Please trust your gut. Nobody is immune from this, you guys. Like, for Landstar and C.H. Robinson are two of the largest transportation providers out there. You guys, they get hit with this shit non-stop, right? A lot of us get hit with fraudulent behavior all the time. What are you going to do to protect your organization, though, you guys? And I talk about this a lot. We have to look at our operations very differently than how we do. A lot of people want to rush people off the phone. They just want to book the truck and go home. The red flags are obvious, right? But the thing is this is what these fuckers are looking for. This is what these fucking double brokers and these fraudsters are looking for. They're looking for the broker who answers the phone, who clearly doesn't give a shit. Okay? That's what they do. They look for those people who clearly don't care, because you're an easy fucking target, right? And furthermore, for the carriers that are out there they're the ones who are getting hammered by this stuff too, because they're the ones who aren't going to get paid for this. If it sounds too good to be true, it generally is, you know? So again, you got to look at this stuff from a different lens, you guys. And I say this often, it's very hard to negotiate with somebody who knows what they're talking about, right? So if you're out there all laissez-faire and fucking, here, this is what it is, blah, 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 you're just fucking exposing yourself. So it's a good read, you guys. Check this article out, ttnews.com, court rules, insurer can't sue broker in fraudulent carrier case out there. Good morning, Alexis Barry, Matt Klaus says, how about brokers that know the carrier was bogus? Fuck, Matt, that's a good point. There's a lot of people out there who know. They know what they're fucking doing, man. Let me see here. Yeah, Sonny, it was fucking money. That I didn't mean to rhyme right there, but it was fantastic, dude. It was fantastic. Yes, they could use broker carrier to vet all of these carriers. Just go sign up for a free 30-day trial right now, brokercarrier.com. Yes, that's a company of mine. I try my best not to turn it into like an ad with all my stuff because I want you guys to come to the show to hear the information on stuff. But yes, I am, Broker Carrier is my company with my business partner, Kyle Provost. Cam says, I think that it has to be on the broker to do their due diligence and understand who they're working with, but also on the carrier, they need to do their due diligence to make sure the loads are legit and check all of, yeah. Cam, I couldn't agree more with that statement, man. But it looks like in this particular instance that they stole the load. So like, that's the thing, man. Like if you're freight that you're moving is high cargo like look at it this way. If it is high value shit, what are you doing to vet your carriers in these instances? Or if it's easy to offload on the streets, right? Like for those of you who, I don't want to say aren't street smart, but if you're hauling a load of fucking beverages, whether it be beer, bottled water, energy drinks, soda, shit like that, thieves love that shit because they can fucking steal a truckload of that and offload it in an hour, right? Like, think about it, you guys. And that's why a lot of these companies have policies and procedures in place for the freight that you're moving. So again, what can you do to look into it differently? All right, I want to get into this article here, and it's going to be from fleetowner.com. Several reports experts sound trucking economy on the red alerts that are out there. Experts say indicators continue to show that the trucking industry is becoming mirrored in a significant slowdown. Class 8 orders dropped. The risk of a recession remains for later this year. Another rate hike Fed rate hike looms. And, a bunch of shit is going on. Several recent reports they didn't put a bunch of shit is going on. I added that. Several recent reports point to economic danger in trucking and capacity, but almost all continue to mention a spot market for freight that continues to slump, with one expert, Tim DeNoyer, VP at ACT Research, saying the pendulum of pricing power has firmly been with shippers for some time, and the cudgel of lower rates is starting to impact capacity. DeNoyer's comments are contained in April 18th email from ACT with the subject line, "The rebalancing of capacity begins," where he goes on to point out that spot rates are now about 17% below truckload fleet reporting operating costs in Q2, worse than it was at 15% in Q1 by our estimates. And then he also had other observations specifically about fleet failures in the April 18th report, a synopsis of ACT's monthly 58-page freight forecast. Failure started to pick up when the loss reached 10% in the fourth quarter, DeNoyer said in the report. This was a record at the time, and we see Newton's third law of motion at work, as rebalancing requires a string of record losses following record pandemic profits. It's the fourth straight quarter for significant losses, and both the time and magnitude of the losses should send a strong signal to tighten capacity. And then he continued, though new equipment production remains elevated, hiring and fleet exit trends tell us capacity is slowing. All right. Another spot market report signs of the same refrain. Prolonged weakness out there also continues to be evident. For the week ended April 14th, both dry-van and refrigerated, two dominant sectors in trucking, saw their largest drop in broker posted rates on the spot market since January. Dry-van spot rates have retreated for 6 straight weeks and have declined for 12 of the 15 weeks this year. According to the latest spot market insight, reefer rates declined for the 4th consecutive week out there. Let me see here. And then the moves in all 3 segments were directionally in keeping with seasonal expectation, but van rates are running significantly below their 5-year average, while flatbed rates are still running slightly above average. Avery Wise, VP of Trucking at FTR, sounded a note of caution about ringing too many alarm bells over the spot market, though he conceded that spot, the top freight market for owner-operators, is going through a prolonged period of weakness. And he also noted that the spot market is running below the FTR's 5-year averages. The main thing to understand is we're still coming off an extended period of extraordinarily strong conditions. The period between mid-March and midway is typically seasonally weak. The best way to look at the spot market is the sign of strength. The big question is the weakness that is going out there. And then also overall freight industry pessimism keeps showing. According to the April 11th release out there, the critical factor of forecasting is when do lower freight volumes, lower freight rates, and hiring, borrowing costs compress carrier profits sufficiently to kill the cycle. Our current thinking is that negatives begin to weigh on orders soon that were going on. The wild card in any forecast is the debt ceiling, said Kenny Veith, who is an ACT president and senior analysis. While the Fed plays a major role in determining consumer and business borrowing costs that are out there, this is, this article, there's a lot of, and then it talks about, freight tonnage and everything being down and everything else. And this is an article I want a lot of us to read because at the end of the day, you guys, how does all of this affect you, right? This article, well, I'm sorry, is from fleetowner.com. Several reports, experts sound trucking economy red alerts. And I paraphrased in a lot of this because it's a longer read and we don't have a lot of time left in the show today. But how does this affect you? When we look at the macro of the industry right now, what are you going to do to work around this to stay in business? Because not everybody's going to go out of business here, you guys. Not everybody's going to fucking fail. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to come out of this fucking winning. My companies are going to come out of this fucking winning. Okay. I will find a solution. Okay. So the pessimism that is at an all-time high, I always try and look at it from a different perspective. When you see people out there talking about a freight recession, I always look at what do they gain from this, right? Because a lot of the larger companies that are out there talking about this shit, they're going to be fine. They got a war chest of capital to play with. Fuck, watch what they're doing right now. They're going to be buying a bunch of shit. They're going to be doing a bunch of shit right now that would say, well, wait a second. If we're in a recession, why are you making the moves that you're making? Because they got a lot of fucking data, you guys. They know exactly how this is going to go. From a business strategy standpoint, if I would never do this because I don't play into the fear of anything, because I know real people out there where I come from, the real world, the working class, people base decisions on what you see out there. And when you see large providers talking about this, how many trucks do they have vacant right now? And I could see a strategy. I'm not blaming anybody in this situation. This is just Chris Jolly's fucking opinion on this. I could see how a large fleet would talk about this and maybe nudge some of you smaller guys out there to maybe fold up shop and get a job at a fleet because we'll pay you. You'll make money. I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything here. This is just my opinion on I could see a strategy of doing this. Or on the brokerage side, maybe you see some of these large providers talking like this and that pushes you to give up. Well, fuck it. If these large companies are saying it, you know what? Maybe this just isn't for me. I'm here to say fuck every single one of them. All right. Whatever some of these large companies' opinions are has no effect on your business. Because the fact of the matter is this, you guys, freight is still going to move. Is it going to move with your company or your competitors, though? Because business is not easy. All right. This shit is hard and it's going to get harder. I don't think we've seen remotely close to the worst of the economy. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm not talking about spot market rates and contracted rates. I'm talking about the overall health of the economy. But at the end of the day, you guys, what can you fucking control in your business? Like I had talked about a couple of weeks ago, I have reassessed everything on my P&L on do I actually need it? Because as you grow in business, sometimes you sign up for shit because at the moment it sounds good and you don't actually fucking use it outside of that one time. And you might have spent $500 for an annual subscription and you don't realize it. So you look at that, boom, $500 is $500. I don't care what anybody says. If you're looking at, I run a small business. So I look at those things. I'm seeing what investments do I need strategically to stay afloat, to maximize my reach, to maximize how I can stay in business. What does my runway look like? If you've never put together a budget before or a P&L before for your business, you need to look at that, you guys, because at the end of the day, there is going to be a group of people who win through this. There is going to be an owner operator or a small fleet who quadruples in size in this time, right? Because winners fucking win. All right. It's plain and simple. Winners win. We find a fucking solution no matter what. Because the reality is, you guys, business is not easy. It's very fucking challenging. It is a constant kick in the teeth every fucking day. So you can take this information that people put out there and throw in the towel and say, you know what? It's just not for me. Or you can look at it and say, well, fuck that. I'm going to find a solution. That's what I'm going to do. That's why I put out this show every single day, you guys, is I want you to understand that there is a fucking solution out there. I don't know everything. I'm never going to proclaim to know everything, but I will not fucking quit. Okay? I will not take a lot of these fucking headlines and the information in these articles and base my decision because of what somebody else puts out there. I can only control what I can control. Those are my actions. Those are my customer sales outreaches. That's my customer experience. That's my carrier experience with my organization. That is what I'm going to do every fucking day. All right. So if you're going to be somebody who wants to fight like hell to keep your business profitable over these next couple of years, keep tuning into my show, because that's all this message is ever going to be. I'm never going to say it's easy. I'm never going to say that it's not going to be challenging, but we're going to find a fucking solution. Okay? That's where my focus is going to be. Yes, I am fired up about this shit because I fucking hate the negativity out there, because at the end of the day, you guys, I come from a working class family in northern Wisconsin. My dad was an owner operator for a long time. When I see information that could possibly put somebody out of business, I go back to when I was a little kid. What if my dad saw that and gave up during that time? Would that have made me homeless? Would that have put my family in the streets? I want to put a message of optimism out there, but realistic optimism. Again, it's not going to be easy, but we're going to find fucking solutions, and that's what we're going to focus in on this show. No matter what, solutions. We're going to find a fucking answer out there. But that's going to be it for today, you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. I might have some guests come on. Again, I'm playing catch up this week, so I'm waiting for texts and stuff to come back from people to confirm. But that's it for today, you guys. As always, if you guys saw value in it, subscribe and share the show. If you're over on YouTube, subscribe, share it, rank it over on iTunes and Spotify, because if you guys see value, your network's going to see value in it as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.